Welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. Woke up this morning, it's a little bit chilly out here. But I got some chores that I gotta get done. I'm really a little late. I've had this sack of potatoes for about 2 weeks and they need to be cut. And the reason they need to be cut is this fresh side, you don't really need to put that in the dirt, fresh cut. You can, it'll grow. But sometimes if the conditions are not perfect, this will cause it to start rotting in the ground. So what we do is we let them cure, or people call it different things, but all I'm doing is cutting these up, making sure there is some eyes, and this will ruin the patina or create a new patina on a blade. So potatoes, so you gotta clean that off good when you get through. Potatoes have acidity in them. They'll put a swirl in your knife blade if you ain't careful. So I'm just cutting them up in pieces and making sure that I get some eyes like that on each piece. And then I'm gonna lay them over here and let the air blow on them, spread them out, whatever. A lot of times I'll put them in, I got some milk crates over there I may get and put them in where I can, if it starts to rain, I don't want it to rain on them, in other words. And it's clouded up and you don't never know for 1 minute to the next what the rain's gonna do. So be careful, you don't wanna break them eyes off. I mean, some of them's gonna get broke off because they've been tumbled around in that sack. And some of these you ain't gotta cut. You can put that whole potato in there, that one's kind of small, I'm gonna just leave it. But if you wanna cut them, it don't matter. But anyway, I gotta get this done because my grandpa always said plant potatoes, any in-ground like root crop, carrots, potatoes, stuff like that, peanuts, something that you're getting the root out of, you plant that on the dark nights where it's a new moon, where you can't see a moon, in other words. And above the ground, seed crops, where you pick the fruit, the seed off of it above the ground, you plant them just before a full moon, when you can see the moon's bright. Well, my grandpa always said plant potatoes on the dark nights of February. Well, as stuff has changed here, the weather and things are just different, the climate is changing some, we plant them on the dark nights of March. So that is coming up here pretty quick. That is when we fixing to put our potatoes in the ground. So, and we've done well. It don't mean, now this year, it has been fairly warm, but now we've had a lot of rain, so it's still debatable whether you would have been all right planting them, now or whenever. If you'd have planted them in February, I mean, they may have been fine. I don't know. We've had some warm weather and had some extremely warm weather, but we, like this morning, woke up and it's cold again too. So I just do things the way that the old timers told us to do it. That is kind of the way I prefer. A lot of people, oh no, you need to, we've learned this since then, we know this now. Maybe so. I hope you're right. I like to do it the way I like to do it. So anyway, I'm gonna get this done. I've got some more things to do, still wanting to go put limb hooks back here in the creek. Every time it starts to get back in the banks, we get another huge rain way back up out of the banks. And it's just a little tougher to catch very many fish when the water is out everywhere, because them fish spread out and go all, you can't, when you get the water down just inside the banks, you kind of know them fish is gonna be in this area. It makes it a lot better. I mean, it's basic common sense. Contrary to popular belief. So anyway, let me get these cut up. We'll get to something else here in a little bit. I got a lot of stuff I got to do today. All right, I got through cutting them up. They in this basket. So I had on a pallet all the potatoes that we harvested last year. And I went out there and drug it out to see what kind of condition they was. And y'all, this is all the white potatoes. Now mind you, all of these are old red potatoes. That is really what does the best here, in my opinion. Some people may have better luck, but for years and years, year after year after year since I was a kid, this is what we've always had the best production out of. So we plant them every year. They're good potatoes. A lot of them are smaller, but like if you're gonna boil potatoes, crawfish boils, just sometimes we boil sausage and stuff in crab boil and corn and potatoes. This is what you want for all that. And then we cut it up, make a lot of stuff out of it. They're just as good. These are the white potatoes. Now I'm not sure the actual name of them. I just bought a sack last year at one of the seed stores like I did these over here this year, and it said white potatoes. So you see how they're sprouting? I separate them, you see what color those sprouts are. You see how they're a green sprout? Now look at this one. This is the red potatoes, and I see one more white potato. You see how it's got a green sprout on it? The red potatoes have a pinkish looking sprout, but this is all the red potatoes that I drug out from under the smokehouse. They was all on a pallet on chicken wire. And I'm gonna find a lot of rotted potatoes under there, but these made it through the whole thing and sprouted. So we've been getting some potatoes, but we have bought some potatoes. I mean, I need to put them somewhere other than that smokehouse for one main reason. We don't like to go out there and dig them out from under it, lay down on the wet, sloppy ground to get them out from under there. So I gotta come up with a better place to store them. A lot of people say put wood ashes on them, put them under the bed, such as that. We're gonna try something like that this year, hopefully. The only thing, I hate to put them in the house because when one does rot, especially if they're up under the bed, and all of a sudden like, what's that smell? You totally forget that they're there. You know it's gonna happen, busy as I am. But anyway, this is the potatoes, and we're gonna let these all set here for a day or two. We're gonna wait till dark nights before we plant them, but in these milk crates, I can tote them up yonder and set them out of the rain if it threatens to rain, and it's gonna rain at some point. We all know it is. So anyway, I have turned one hen loose. I had a little bitty white banty rooster loose. She's up under there. I don't know if you can see her right there pecking around. I had a little rooster, and he got over there fighting at the wire, and my big old pretty rooster's in the hospital. Leg all messed up. I don't know if he's gonna get better or not, but if he don't, I'm gonna keep him there and take care of him. He's too pretty. Do anything else will. Hurts my feelings. So I had to lock the little rooster. You can't turn a rooster loose around here. A lot of people are like, how come you don't free range your chickens? This is why. They'll get up to the wire and they gonna fight. I don't fight chickens, but you can't turn one loose. They gonna fight. So anyway. Y'all, I hadn't got as much done as I'd like to. I have done a lot, but I still got a long ways to go. I got a bunch of sheaves glued together that's drying, that these knives all go in. I got 3 Jonah knives up here done, and now I done misplaced my oil to put on them. I'm cleaning it. I just got through sanding this one, and I got one more patch knife I got to do. I got to shape it. Going fishing puts me behind a mite. And I was wanting to go fishing today. I'll be honest with you. I was wanting to ride down there to the creek and check on the water. And I thought about taking the canoe and putting some jugs out, but I got a birthday party to go to this evening. I got these knives that need to be done, and I'm gonna have to go to town and take care of some business in town that was a little bit unexpected, nothing major, but I gotta go do it. So it's gonna put me back on really filming much of anything today. But that's the way of life. That's the way my life is ruined. I never get to just plan, I'm gonna do like this today, and it really goes that way. Oh, but does it do that for anybody? I mean, does any of y'all get to say, okay, this is how my day's gonna go, and everything goes just like that? I don't really think so. I ain't complaining about it. I just had planned to get out here and film, and then I was gonna work on knives, and then late this evening I was gonna do some odd and end fun stuff and film it, and now I'm not gonna get to's all, so that's why I'm letting you know. Another one of these peeling knives. I really like that spilly wood. It turns out really good. It's probably the closest thing to black walnut that I've got. And then, of course, these Osage knives. And you see how after you see the difference in the color? These things, y'all, once they are done, they're going to turn brown eventually. I mean, I realize some people don't realize that. They say, oh, beautiful yellow handle. Well, it is a beautiful yellow handle for a little while. And if you want it to be yellow again, you're going to get some sandpaper and it'll turn back bright yellow. It'll be yellow right under that brown wood. But as it is exposed to sun and light and heat and whatever, air, I don't know what changes it, but it's going to turn dark. Let me get my... So I have encountered a little, I ain't going to call it a problem. It really ain't a problem. I didn't like. I use this boiled linseed oil. Of course, it's turned cold today. And I can heat this oil up. I can set that right on top of that stove over there and warm it up and make it thin again, and it'll work. But as I put it over here, like where I stick these knives, it turns, I don't know, gets gummy. I had to sand it off of that one. So I'm using this wax right here, and a lot of wood people use it. And I have had people, they say, oh, but that ain't food, say that ain't safe for you. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you're putting boiled linseed oil in your mouth, it ain't good for you either. So, I mean, what, you know, you got to compare apples to apples, not apples to bananas. I just mentioned, I thought about that. I had somebody, when I was showing this, they said, oh, that stuff ain't safe for them. I'm like, well, you know, we ain't eating the handle of this knife now. I mean, I wasn't telling you to make lunch out of it. Some people just don't think before they go to talking, I don't think. I mean, it's like I'll use gas in my car. It ain't safe to drink either, you know. I've had it in my mouth before, but not by choice. I was trying to use one of them redneck credit cards. And I wasn't stealing gas. I was trying to get it out of a jug into something and didn't want to have to hold it and use a funnel. And I thought I'd siphon it in there, you know. And I've done it successfully, but you wind up with a little bit in your mouth so you know what's going on. All right, I got 3 of them up there done. And them chickens out yonder is a screaming. I'm hoping this microphone limits some of it, but I know the other day when I was out there by them, you could still hear them just a holler. I've turned it down. I had my phone trying to charge up my stuff, my microphones. I wind up with more paraphernalia. And I got my Rio Link camera from the deer camp the other day, and I'm gonna mount it out here and use it this summer and just keep paying a subscription on it and use it for a security camera. That way if somebody was to come up here and want to take some of my valuables, I would at least know who done it. And it's camouflage, they won't ever see it. Yeah, right. It'll be the first thing they shoot, but I'll have a picture on my phone, see, and it won't matter if they shoot it. That's the way you got to think right there. That's why I'm going to use that. So anyway, I am fixing to shape this little patch knife, and then, and I made a post earlier. I don't know if people seen it or what, but she's got a bunch of these mugs. She's been working on making them. It'll take about 2 weeks now for it to run through the process. They got to dry and then be painted and all that, but she is working on making these fat bottom mugs. Getting some in y'all's hands. I want y'all all to have you one if you want it. I genuinely like them because like right here I can set them anywhere, and like this board's cupped. It ain't smooth. I don't knock it over, you know. I really like my little teacups, but I don't wind up using them. I tote that around more. And like right now, that's getting cool. It ain't just totally hot no more. I'll just go set the whole thing right over there on the stove, which I need to add some wood. Probably it's all right. I've had that burning all day long just cause. I'm finished shape on this. So y'all, we got one chore I got to do today before I let y'all go. Let me get started, and I'll tell you about it while I'm doing it. Let me get this jug. So, give me some water in it. Ah, now, y'all turn around here and I'll explain this as I'm doing it. So I got some string right here. Let me cut me a, well, let me just do it this way. All right, so what I've got is I got me a water jug and I'm fixing to tie it in this tree right here. And why I'm doing that is they have give out some possible frost weather. I think the forecast is like 33, but it could be up, down, depending on where you live, 32, 31. It could frost, it might not. Okay, so we don't know that it's gonna frost. We are preparing for the inevitable in case it do frost, okay? So let me cut this and I'll tell you what I'm doing. All right, so I've just got some string and a fruit tree. These fruit trees have done bloomed. Got little buds on them, all the blooms is gone. Last year I had a man told me, he said, if you don't want to lose your fruit, because I'd said something about I didn't have no plums, I didn't have no figs, and I didn't have no peaches. He said, hang a water jug in there. So what this is a water jug, and it's been cut about half full of water, a little more, don't matter how much water. And it'll help the atmosphere around this tree. So I didn't understand the science, but a lot of people ask me about the science. I don't know nothing about the science. So I had a man today, Mr. Andy Carroll, he said, I'll give you an explanation. And it made a lot of sense. So this is what I heard, okay? And I'm gonna share it with you. If it makes sense for you, okay? If it don't, I'm sorry and I could be wrong. This might not be why it works like that. But like a heater or air conditioner, what he said you can't change the air. He said you can add moisture, take moisture away from it. So what this is doing is this creating a barrier right here of changing the temperature somehow of the moisture around this circle right here. So I'll tell you this, last year I had a man tell me, he said, hang a water jug in there. He said, you won't lose your fruit. So I tried it. I was like, oh, that sounds crazy. I did it last year. Hung the water jug in all the fruit trees except a few. The ones I did not hang the water jug in, I had no fruit. The ones that I hung a water jug like this in had fruit that year. So for what it's worth, you know, it might work, it might not. So that's what I'm doing. So really, I'm just taking old milk jugs, right like this. I use them for chicken waters and all such as that, and tie a rope on it, hang it in a fruit tree. So this one here, I actually cut some limbs off of today. I don't know if you see them piled up over there, but I had some stuff sticking out low right here, and I cut that off of it today, or this morning. I've actually done film most everything I'm gonna put in this video, but I may put this before some of it, because it don't make no difference. I'm gonna set these potatoes in here under the shed too. So if you wanna know how I'm making these, I'm just cutting down, just as simple. Oh Lord. And these white jugs, they ain't gotta be pretty. We just cut the top out, see what I mean? All right, there we go. These fig trees, I'm not able to hang nothing in because the branch is pretty well straight up down. I'm gonna set that bucket of water right there at the bottom of it. So I've got several of these little old buckets. Little bitty bushes, if you want fruit out of them, you can do that because it's just water right there in that same area. So like this, I'm just gonna set this over in there. That'll make sure I got figs. Yeah, I could have probably set that one right there on the ground, but hey, I done had the string on it, so might as well tie it in there. Ain't that right? Well, y'all, I have got all these water jugs up and in trees. And it's now just a wait and see. Thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one. I'm gone.